Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I want to talk today about all of the list of bug fixes for the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro with the March update. And I wanted to get to this sooner, but it took me a while to be able to get my hands on these. And I'm going to have to read this down the list because this is a laundry list, like a really long laundry list. It was surprising to me how many specific fixes there were back in the January update. I think it was like 60. This one definitely comes in second place. There's a lot of things. So you may be sitting there going, okay, that one was a problem for me. That one was a problem for me. That one I wasn't aware of. Because some of this stuff, yes, I get it. There's a lot of these bugs that are fixed that might be something that are very fringe that you may never see. Personally, I haven't experienced some of these, but we're going to run through the list. We're going to talk about it because this is a very exhaustive list. And it's kind of frustrating because Google doesn't put out this published list. You have to go through and find it. And thankfully, outlets like Android Authority, Android Police, and a couple different places have them available. So kudos to them for this. First thing, audio category. We'll break this down by category. Audio, fixes and improvements for audio playback issues in certain apps. So I have had conversations with people. I've heard people talk about how there's been some inconsistencies, not crazy with the playback on some of the different stuff. The quality might not be so good. So hopefully this fixes that. Battery and power, we've got a couple here. Fix for issue causing inadvertent unplugged charger notification to appear while charging in certain conditions. It doesn't say what those conditions are, but if you got a random unplugged charger notification, then hopefully this fixes that. This one's a big one. General improvements for battery and thermal performance in certain conditions. Of course, it doesn't say what certain conditions are. I think there's quite a few. And hopefully it fixes quite a few of those because heat and thermal stuff and battery, definitely a concern for a lot of people. So I hope that fixes that. Biometrics. General improvements for fingerprint sensor stability and performance. I can speak to this one myself. This one, definitely there's been a marked improvement. I've definitely been able to tell. More snappy, more responsive, less lag in between pressing the fingerprint sensor and getting to start up. So it's nice that finally we're basically in March. We're almost into April, 6 months after this phone's come out. And finally we're getting a more reliable fingerprint sensor. So I know some people think it's been fine from the get-go. Some people maybe, I think this is one of those subjective things where some people are like, no, it's fine for me. Maybe the expectation and experience is different for everybody, but I think across the board, most people can agree it's gotten better. Bluetooth. Fix for issue causing Bluetooth to turn on after disabling in certain conditions. Now, I know there's been Bluetooth problems for people, especially that was supposed to be fixed with the February patch, and then that ended up causing Wi-Fi issues for people and not really fixing all the Bluetooth issues. Hopefully this is a fix there. Also, fix for issue causing occasional audio glitches during playback with certain Bluetooth devices. That's an important one. Google has not had the best history of this, especially with like the original Pixel Buds. I had horrible problems with this, so I hope that this fixes things for people across the board with audio. General improvements for Bluetooth stability and in performance. I hope that helps too. Again, this really was an aim of theirs with the February patch. Hopefully this is even more fine-tuned, and if you're experiencing Bluetooth issues, signal issues, not having good quality audio, and inconsistency, things dropping out, hopefully this fixes that. And also fix for issue preventing Bluetooth to be enabled in certain conditions. I know that was also a problem, so it seems like they doubled down on the Bluetooth stuff. Let me know in the comments. If you're having improved Bluetooth experience, let me know, because that's one of those things. It was a problem that they tried to address in February. It didn't really get completely the nail hit with the hammer on the head. I hope this is better for people across the board. Camera. Fix for issue causing frame drop during video capture in certain modes and conditions. Definitely, the Pixel camera is one of the bread and butter things. It's one of the three things, the three pillars or the triad of reasons why I say people buy a Pixel. The camera, the bare bones software, and the updates and security and stuff. Those are really the three things. So camera really is number one. They need to get that stuff ironed out. Hopefully this is a good fix for people. General image quality improvements in camera preview and capture. That's important. Anything they can do to make the camera better and better, to stand out among the crowd and to give you the best Pixel camera experience possible. I like that. General improvements for camera stability and performance. Across the board, I know people have complained about the app crashing, about the app freezing, about dropping frames. There's been a lot of inconsistency with the app for some people, so I'm glad that that's fixed. I've had it crash on me a few times before. Never really had any super bad heating issues to where it's shut down, but I hope that's also kind of part of with that battery and performance stuff. Maybe they kind of fix some of that too. That would be nice. Display and graphics. Fix for issue causing display rate to lock at 60 hertz under certain conditions. That's bad. We're paying for these phones with the 90 hertz with the Pixel 6, 120 hertz with the Pixel 6 Pro. You want it to work as it's intended. There have been a lot of reports of the frame dropping and locking at 60, not doing what it's supposed to. This should fix that. Fix for issue occasionally causing a green flicker to appear in certain media apps when playing HDR content. Also, one of those things, it's not really a big problem, but when you get a flicker, you get something that pops up, especially consistently when you're using things, you want that taken care of. Hopefully that's fixed here. Fix for occasional screen flicker and notification shade when dragging from top of screen. I've experienced this one myself. Also, I've had that happen with my camera app. Sometimes it'll just do like this gray flickering thing on the screen and kind of dim. I hope that one's fixed. Fix for occasional white screen flash after screen goes to sleep. Maybe I've experienced that before. It seems like something I might have noticed, but hopefully that's all cleared up. And then general improvements for adaptive brightness response in certain conditions. I've had a lot of people complain about this. The adaptive brightness just being wonky all over the place, not responding properly. Hopefully this gets it on the right page so that people can use it effectively, because if you can't use it effectively, why even have it, right? Framework. Fix for issue causing persistent new device prompt to appear in certain conditions. Thankfully, I haven't had that problem. It went away from me, but that's one thing I definitely hate about Android. You set your phone up and you get everything set up the way it's supposed to, and then it's like, oh, let's finish setting up your new device, and it just never goes away. So that's a good one. Hopefully that fixes it for people. Also, fix for issue causing screensaver to turn on while toggled off. And then general improvements for keyboard responsiveness and performance. And I wonder if that has something to do with the haptic feedback. I've had a mixed bag here, because I'm not happy with what they did to the haptic feedback, especially across the board with the user interface and everything, turning it down, kind of muting it. But some people are like, no, it's got a more deeper, different vibration pattern. I like it. It was too aggressive before. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but they did make some improvements there. Let me see here. Fix for issue causing device to occasionally continue vibrating after accepting and dismissing a phone call. I haven't had that problem. If you had, hopefully it's fixed now. Fix for issue preventing auto rotate to detect orientation in certain conditions. I know this has been a problem for a lot of people. I've also had this problem. I really want to see that fixed. I'm glad that they put that in here. General improvements for lift to wake responsiveness and performance. General improvements for sensor stability and response in certain conditions. So those are two different things there. Hopefully that kind of shored things up and made the software experience better for people, especially with the whole lift to wake response. You want it to be responsive when you pick it up. I see why that's something they wanted to work on. System. Fix for issue causing inadvertent device corrupt error to appear in certain conditions. I haven't experienced that. That would be troubling. I'm glad that they put some effort into that. And general improvements for system stability and performance. Don't really say what, but that's something they put out in every single patch. I mean, any one of these things really falls under general improvements for system stability and performance. So I guess they just throw that out there as a catch-all. Maybe one or two things, something that Tim in accounting saw and was like, hey, can you fix this for me? And then they did. So that's nice there. Phone call stuff. Let me see. Fix for issue causing network data icon to disappear after sending an MMS message. I haven't experienced that. General improvements for network connection stability and performance. That's a big one. We've still been chasing to find that top dead center, just like your timing on your car. If you ever manually time the car and use a timing gun, I used to have to deal with this with my 93 Mustang. If your timing is off, if your network connectivity and stability is not good, it doesn't make for a good experience. So they've been chasing this level of perfection since we got this thing started. I know some people are still saying it's not perfect and it even caused more problems for them. So it seems like every time they fix 10 people's phone problems, they cause problems for 2 more. And I'd really like to see that inconsistency go away. Touch. General improvements for fingerprint sensor stability and performance. We've seen that. We've talked about that. We've experienced it. Good to go there. User interface. Quite a few here. Add shortcut to open calendar app from at a glance on home screen. Fix for issue causing add a language list to overlap with title text. And there have been some of those things where I've had text boxes, display boxes that have kind of overlapped, not been where they're supposed to. So that's a good one. Fix for issue causing bottom layer of system navigation to disappear in certain conditions. Notice that once or twice before. Fix for issue causing bubbles info overlay to appear misaligned over apps under certain conditions where you get like the text bubbles and boxes. Fix for issue causing certain home screen content to display under lock screen when animation duration is customized. I haven't messed with that because I don't really mess with the page animations. So if you do that, you might have noticed that. Fix for issue causing certain home screen icons to appear misaligned in certain conditions. Thankfully, I haven't experienced that either. Fix for issue causing certain widgets to render incorrectly on home screen after setting up device from a backup. Interesting there, because I know I've talked before, when you set up a new device, it seems like maybe it might have been better for a lot of people to set this device up from new versus transferring stuff over. I think people that did that may have experienced less issues, but I've also heard of people who transferred data over who have had no problems, and people who set it up from new have had problems. So you just never know. It seems to be a real mixed bag with this device. Fix for issue causing delay before available network appears in internet tile under certain conditions. Going to read through a couple of these. They're not real big. Fix for issue causing error while adding widgets to home screen after downloading apps or downgrading apps. Fix for issue causing fingerprint unlock icon to appear invisible on lock screen in certain conditions. That's bad. You want that fixed. Fix for issue causing incoming notifications to occasionally render over quick settings while notification shade is expanded. They've really gone into, there's a lot of these. There's like a whole lot of them. Fix for issue causing incorrect colors for theme and display in quick settings in certain conditions. Fix for issue causing longer load times for UI after unlock. I have noticed that sometimes when you unlock it, things can be a little bit laggy. So hopefully that speeds things up a little bit. That'd be nice. Fix for issue causing notification shade to collapse after unlocking device when replying to a notification from the lock screen. I don't know how they find some of these things. They must have some people that are really dedicated to this or really hammered down on some of the nuanced details of Android 12, because some of the stuff I'm like, I never noticed this, or I never would, or I would never even think to recommend them that they fix this. Fix for issue causing occasional animation stutter while using overview and landscape mode. Think I've noticed that one before. Fix for issue causing occasional flicker on lock screen when tapping to expand notifications. I've noticed that before. Fix for issue causing picture-in-picture controls to display misaligned from window in certain conditions. Fix for issue causing picture-in-picture windows to dismiss when fleeing across the screen under certain conditions. I have had problems with minimizing picture-in-picture windows. Fix for issue causing quick settings overlay to stay on the screen in certain conditions. I have had that happen once or twice a long time ago, not really a consistent thing. Fix for issue causing recent apps to not display an overview under certain conditions. And fix for issue causing end of all apps list in settings to cut off certain apps after are disabled. Wow, there's like so many more of these. I really shouldn't have undertaken all this. Yes, fix for issue occasionally causing app splash screens to flash on screen without a transition. Fix for issue occasion. Yeah, I'll give you the list. You can go through all these. There's a lot of them, and they're very minor. I'd be sitting here reading these for another 5 minutes. I don't want to do that to y'all. But Wi-Fi, the very last category, fix for issue causing Wi-Fi connection to drop unexpectedly under certain conditions, and general improvements for Wi-Fi stability and performance. That's a big one. That one right there has been a doozy for a lot of people, and especially it was caused by the February update. So when you take a look at that and kind of cast a glance at that, people have had problems with Wi-Fi. We had problems with Wi-Fi beforehand, but what was also important was when they fixed the Wi-Fi issues, a lot of people that never experienced Wi-Fi issues then began having Wi-Fi issues. So again, this is one of those things where it comes with the pixel patches and the updates. Their intentions are good. They try to fix a lot of things, and then it seems like for every one or two, or let's say they fix 10 people's problems again, like I said, they fixed 10 people, they cause problems for 2 more. So on a whole, they're fixing more than what they're breaking, but they shouldn't be breaking as much stuff in the process. And I think that's one of the reasons why they have this parsed out into 2 different updates. One where they launch it for the legacy devices like the Pixel 5s, the 4s, the 3a, that stuff. And then the one for the Pixel 6 comes later because of that, having to optimize it more for the Tensor chip. I think they really just bit off more than they can chew, more than their software department or engineering, whatever, is able to accommodate. And it seems like maybe also some work from home stuff, also the new architecture, trying to get everything put together. It takes a long time to polish this up, and Android 12 was not ready to go once it was published, and that's been apparent across the board. Even Samsung's still having some issues. OnePlus had huge issues. The Pixel has had the most probable issues out of all this, and it should just not be happening because Google is the author of Android. It's their OS, and it seems like they're continually behind the power curve. Here we are 6 months into it, basically, and we're still not as perfect as it really probably should be. But they're still getting there, they're still making improvements, and they're still messing people's stuff up. to an extent in the process. So we'll see where it goes. I wanted to run that down, talk to you guys about some of that stuff. Again, there's a link down in the description you can click on. You can see the full list of this stuff. I'm sorry, in that list of system stuff, it was just so many, and it was so many little nuanced things that a lot of people really wouldn't even pay too much attention to. If you want to read the full list, go there. Otherwise, hopefully this was helpful, gave you guys some insight, and really let you know that, yeah, this thing is not perfect. Even people who say they're experiencing a perfect Pixel experience may be having some issues they don't even realize. And of course, issue being with the phone, not that they're having one. If you don't realize it's happening, kind of like if a tree falls in the woods, nobody hears it. That seems to be a lot of the things that are happening with some people. Maybe some people are just more sensitive to these issues or aberrations than others are. And I don't blame you, but at the same point in time, we have to kind of weigh this. Okay, how significant is the problem? How serious is it? How many people is it affecting? And is it really a big deal, or is it just like, okay, a text bubble every once in a while? Not something to tear our clothes and start, screaming in the streets and setting things on fire. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.